Welcome back to Q Dads. Yes, it's me, Ste, and I'm here with the final episode of Sunny, which straight off the bat, big-headed Ben does want me to say, I told you so. This is because we finally learned that Mixie was working for the Yakuza from the offset, a massive bombshell. This show nicely wraps up a few little details for us and hints heavily at Masa being alive, and of course, does mean that Sunny is still in harm's way too. So, before we dive into this final bit of the series and give you our thoughts for a potential season 2, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, as in 2 weeks' time we'll be covering From, where Ben and I will be deep diving into the series and delivering our amazing theories, something at Q Dads we're great at. So, the show opens up today, setting the scene at a festival which is all about evil demons, or Oni. And yes, you could say that this hints towards the Yakuza being those Oni that we need to stop. But it also hints towards the inner demons that we all have, with Sunny's evil side and potentially the evil side of Masa that we don't yet know. We instantly carry on where we left off, Suzie and Zen being reunited while Sunny is still asleep. This is where Hime shows up and puts Zen, Suzie and the others inside a cage to keep them hostage while she and her codebreaker take Sunny to get the code. And here we find out that actually 7% of the old data has been lost. Now, I do ask the question about the relevance of this 7%, as Tanaka mentioned that the oldest data is lost first. So, could this 7% be some of those memories from last week? Could the game show just have been similar to what humans experience at the end? A flashback of their lives? Or is there something more to the code? Is there some significance to it, as this may carry some key pieces of the data that Sunny might rely on? Is there something in this old data that is the key to either the Dark Manual or even the knowledge of Masa? But then it turns out that as they tried to get deeper into Sunny and get that code, Masa had damaged the ports on purpose, so that this would fry the ports of any potential hacker, meaning the Yakuza are now locked out of Sunny, and they come up with a plan to get Jin's robot and transfer the data from one to the other. Now I guess this is sort of surprising, but also hints deeper at the fact Masa might have known about Tanaka being under the Yakuza's watch, as why would he instantly think to sabotage Sunny's ports? It does seem like Tanaka is actually quite skillful too, so could Masa have been keeping him purposely away from things because he already realised he was part of the Yakuza? We do get for me one of the greatest little connections and wrap-ups that we've seen so far. This series has Suzie's captors go to make a phone call. Noriko also calls through to them, and it turns out that the son of her cellmate is none other than Suzie's captor. This leads Noriko to take it upon herself and turn off her cellmate's oxygen and threaten to essentially kill her unless this man releases them. This of course works and the group let them go, and Noriko makes a final threat about telling the prison that she cheats at shogi. This was a scene I really enjoyed, and it was quite comical in a way, and it's kind of been set up for quite a few episodes now, and I think the fact that it came into play now in these final moments was just brilliant. I think Noriko's character has been a standout, clearly giving us that classic mother-in-law who doesn't really like her child's partner, but at the end of the day will do crazy things to save her family. Suzie, Mixie and Hiro end up searching through the festival looking for Sunny, and have a realisation, in again a really hilarious way, that there is a code word for Sunny to awaken her. Zen was asked by the Yakuza what common phrases does Suzie say, and he comes back with so many naughty words.
You say?
Fuck, shit, butthole, motherfucker.
This was actually hilarious, but then in that moment, Suzie remembers the phrase, which I think stems back all the way from episode 1 or 2, and ends up heading to the stage and shouting this phrase to the whole audience.
I want Yuki Tanaka to suck a dick!
This of course wakes up Sunny, and Sunny ends up escaping her captors and heading out, where the group are reunited, but then end up going their separate ways. Now this leads us to 3 main talking points for season 2. And of course I'm going to start with the one where Ben has been calling from almost episode 1, that he does not trust Mixie, and in the final moment it is proven that Mixie was in fact working for the Yakuza this whole time and takes Sunny to have her code removed. So yes, we did say that Mixie was evil, and Ben especially said there was something that he didn't trust, and I hate to say it, but it turns out he was right. The question remains that she was in fact working for the Yakuza, but where does this lead? She obviously gained some kind of emotion towards Sunny and Suzie, because there's regret in her eyes as she travels down the road. So, in season 2, will this regret and the deeper emotion actually end up saving Sunny as she double crosses the Yakuza? Or will Suzie not be able to trust her again, and could this lead to her death? How long will it take Suzie to find out that Sunny has been taken to the Yakuza, especially now they know the phrase to wake Sunny up? Now, is this where Masa, or Hero, manages to track Sunny and realises something is wrong? Will the Yakuza use Mixie again as a decoy and lure Suzie and Zen to them? And the final question I have about Mixie is, which family of the Yakuza is she working for? As it did appear to me that Hime knew nothing about her really. And Tanaka did mention he had a girlfriend. Could this have been Mixie? Now I know Mixie had a love interest, and a bit of a love interest with Suzie and stuff, but could this have been part of the plan, or an accident, that she fell in love with Suzie? Now, the big thing that Mixie mentioned is she has a friend who can obtain the code. Tanaka tried this. So I was thinking, who could this be? And I think it could be Masa. We said time and time again, he could also be in the Yakuza. And what a twist it would be if he was part of it, just not Hime's family. Let me know what you think. The second thing to talk about is the fact that Suzie, Zen and Hiro went back to Masa's old apartment and realised that there is a letter attached to the wall addressed to Suzie. Now, this letter does look like it was written in the hours leading up to the plane crash, when he was showing Sunny all about Suzie. But it is possible it was written after, especially as this is the house where the man was in the shower that Noriko called. Now, if that man in the shower was just Hiro, why didn't he take the letter to Suzie? Unless, as Ben is saying, he thinks the letter was written afterwards and that Masa is still alive, knowing they would head back to the house at some point. And we're both saying that the letter creation time is ambiguous because in the narration, Masa does mention about if Susie's reading this letter, then it's probably not too late. There is still hope. This hints heavily that he's still alive, and there may be some final pieces to this puzzle within that letter. Maybe a map to where Masa is, or maybe an indication into what actually happened to him. Meaning that there is a chance for Suzie to potentially save Masa, or at least find his location, as it would be a shame to not find him and for it to actually be too late. Alternatively, could it just mean there is still hope for Masa's plan to cure loneliness and that Sunny could still be the key? Not only this letter, but clearly the narration all through the episode was Masa. And it always seems like he was talking about things in the present, especially when explaining about the Oni, and the fact that today is the day we need to stop them again, obviously meaning the Yakuza. It might just be an artistic way to tell the story, but I like to think Masa is potentially watching from afar, unable to help. And the final thing, of course, is around Hime killing Jin in that final power move. Now for me, I expected Jin to be around for season 2 as a Yakuza threat, but as he is stabbed and Ime mentions that we need a stronger leader, but of course you don't see him die, you just see the blood drain from him, which obviously mirrors the start of the episode. And I think that was a poor move on Ime stabbing him, knowing potentially his guards or someone could save him. There was no way of ensuring that he was dead, so for me I think Jin is still a possibility for a season 2, but the show does indicate heavily that the shift of power is now moving towards Hime, especially the fact that Mixie is now taking Sunny somewhere. Could it possibly be to Hime? Yeah, overall the series was quite enjoyable. I do think there was a few slow episodes, especially some of those ones that show you the past, but they do dig deeper a little towards the end. I think it was all worth it, and it was a nice, quirky little series. Just something to break up the year. But of course, what were your thoughts on the show? Did you predict that Mixie was actually working for the Yakuza? And do you still think Masa is alive? Because again, nothing is 100% confirmed. Now again, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, because we will be covering From in a couple of weeks' time, as it kicks off our Winter of Wonders. But we will be breaking down each episode of that show and bringing you some bonus content throughout as well. So you're not going to want to miss that, because here at QDads we are known for our theories, sometimes more wild than others. Again, you're not going to want to miss our theories for that show. So once more, thank you for watching. Hit that like button and don't forget to comment. And as always, I'll catch you next time with something new.